Okay, so today we're going to do a little hack to get our headphones back up and running. Now, I've had these are Bose around the ear headphones for a while, and you can kind of see that the little fake leather stuff has started to peel off and gets all over the place. It's really gross. Now, if you want to replace this, Bose sells these for about $35 as a replacement, or you can find some on the internet that are around $19. I didn't want fake leather. I wanted something cloth, and I couldn't find anything cloth. So I came up with my own little hack that would keep this from flaking off and would let me keep these headphones without really spending anything additional to keep them up and running. So what you're going to need to do is get a pair of pantyhose. Black works best, obviously, in this case. The smallest set of scissors that you can find, and some super glue. Chances are you have a lot of this stuff just sitting around the house. And what we're going to do here is we are going to resuscitate our headphone cushions very easily. So you just take the pantyhose and you stick it through. Cut yourself maybe 4 or 5 inches here, and you want the edge sticking out over here to be as straight as possible. And what we're going to do is we're going to then fold it around the edges of the headphones. Now, if we look on the back of the headphones, there's this plastic piece that goes around here. And this plastic is actually going to clip into the headphones. Right here, you can see all the different clips that are here. And so we needed to find something thin enough that it could still clip in there, which is why we're using pantyhose. Also, the pantyhose is a cloth and should work really well for continuing to keep the same sort of seal. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start to spread some super glue along the edge here, and I would go pretty liberally to get started. So let's just start that. Okay. Like I said, we want to go kind of liberally here, and you want to do in swatches about this big to begin with. And you just take the pantyhose and you put the edge of it right along it. Now the pantyhose is probably about the right distance around to begin with. So you don't want to stretch it any while you're putting it down on the glue. You want to let it stay as unstretched as possible. And so I'm just going to continue that all the way around, and again, you want to put about that much glue all the way around. So we're just going to do that at this point, and then I'll start the video back up. Great. So once we have this done, it's actually pretty dry pretty quickly. You may want to let yours dry a little longer, and if you do, that's fine. But you want to kind of pull this taut through so that it's nice and tight. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll this around once. Okay? So, and this is why we wanted a thin material. You can see, maybe you can see on the video here the edge, how it's still sticking through, and this will be thin enough to actually get back down into the grooves that I showed you earlier. And so we're just going to roll this through one more time, and again, pull it tight here. Not too tight. We don't want to undo the glue we just did, but if you did it right, it should be pretty good to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a thin layer of glue all the way around the edge. You don't want to overlay this, this plastic piece again. You only want one layer of fabric on that. But get as close to it as you can. With what you have left over. Make sure, if you have more than this, it's actually easier in some ways because you can wrap it around the edges of the headphone to get it set while the glue's setting in it. And we're going to put glue on this again. This is going to be a little bit more difficult since this is directly on the pantyhose. And so I'll show you how we do this. So we're going to come in here and we're just going to put some glue down on the pantyhose itself. You probably can't see that real well, but you'll be able to see it when you do it. And then you want to, again, make sure this is fairly tight and put it over it. And then you just want to rub your finger back and forth where you put the glue before. And we're going to go over this with glue on this side as well, just to make sure that it stays. But you'll get a little bit of glue on your fingers as you do this, but it'll start kind of seeping through. Don't push and hold in one place. You can get stuck to the pantyhose if you do that. Just keep rubbing it back and forth, and eventually it'll start to stick. And so I'm going to do this all the way around again. Now, if we've done this right, you can see how the glue has started to seep through here. And I'm just going to go over this one more time from this side to make sure it's nice and set. And this is pretty quick and easy. And with that, you're basically done. We're just going to set this aside, and then we'll come back to it after the glue is dried here, and we're going to cut off the excess. Okay, so it's only been about 5 minutes maybe, and our glue is all dry now. So what we're going to do is there's a lot of excess sitting here on the edges. And we don't want that getting in the way as we try to put these back into the headphones. So we're just going to cut this off. Now, I have a trusty little Swiss Army knife that has tiny, tiny scissors on it, and so I'm just going to make use of these. And, you can probably do this however you want, but we just need to get in here and cut down as far as we can to the glue, and then we're just going to start to cut that off. And so now we have a nice new headphone ready to go. We're just going to take it and put it back in here. Now it's going to fit a little bit more tightly than it did to begin with, but that's okay. It will still fit. You might want to test this once before you glue it all down, just to make sure that it is going to fit. And you just go through here and make sure that you've hit all of the little pieces. Make sure it's all nice and tight. And when you're done, you'll have a nice new headphone that's not going to flake on you or anything like that, and it should be a fairly low-cost hack to get your headphones back up and running. So I hope this works out for you.